the crap? Stop, 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 stop.
Snappy.
Hey, buddy. Look at that eye. Good job, Luna. This right here is quite an exciting little package from Insta360 for a lot of reasons that we're going to dive into right now. When you think about Insta360, you're probably imagining cameras like this, little lifestyle cameras, action cameras, 360 cameras in particular, but the new Luna Ultra isn't competing in this segment. In fact, it's meant much more to compete with something like this. This is Insta360's very first handheld gimbal camera, and the image quality is so far beyond what we've seen from Insta360 in the past, it really does rival more what you're used to seeing from a pro mirrorless camera on a gimbal. All right, here we have the kind of soft pouch, but you don't necessarily need this soft pouch. This is gonna hold your accessories, extra grips, things like that. However, if you wanna just bring the camera, here it is. It's got this nice hard case that completely wraps around the gimbal itself. And then if you want to open it, there's a little button here and boop. This way the entire gimbal is protected. You're not going to be knocking it. The screen is protected back here as well. And it should just power on. Is there battery? There is battery. So included, we've also got the extra little grip. All you need is that 1/4-20. And then this one is an extended battery. They both have the same 1/4-20, the USB-C pass-through. But what's really cool about all of their little grips is they actually have tiny little built-in tripod feet. So even if you forget to bring your tripod, you can always just fold out these little metal legs. I'm sure this will snap on. And the camera's gonna stand just fine. So we've got our screen, obviously, but we can actually pop this right off. From here, we can start and stop recording. We can zoom in and out throughout the zoom ranges. We'll talk about that in a bit. Adjust our composition here with the joystick. We can view our screen, but there's also a built-in microphone. I still can't get over how cool having this little pop-off display is because, well, A, it's way easier than connecting it to a phone, especially if I want to just flip the screen and turn the camera off. But B, I also have a built-in wireless microphone that's always with the camera at all times. I didn't bring my new Mic Pros with me on this hike. So I only have this. And it's gonna sound a lot better right here than it would if I were to switch to the on-camera audio right there. A lot of you probably don't know, but I've been using the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Bring that down more. Yeah. Whoa, there we go. Okay, it's a little low, a little higher, as my B camera for quite a while now. And that's mostly because it's really lightweight and it's easy to get it rigged up overhead. It's also nice to have a built-in gimbal and, you know, get your composition just right. What I really like about this format of camera is that they have autofocus. So when you want to show off a product, brighten this up a bit. Okay, whatever. So if you want to showcase a product, it's able to focus on it in a way that no other action camera can. However, this camera has not been perfect, and this camera solves a lot of those problems for me. I recently took this camera to Hawaii on a trip where I was doing some shooting with the anti-gravity A1. Very cool. And it was great to take hiking and stuff, but frequently I remember thinking, I want more than just one focal length. And this camera does that in a really big way. The main lens here is a 1-inch sensor with a 20mm f1.8 lens. And what that means, paired with the kind of autofocus you're getting, is you can actually get proper background separation, something that you're more used to seeing on like a DSLR, a mirrorless camera, not so much on an action camera like this. Now, if you want, there is an included wide angle adapter that magnetically clips onto the lens, and that's gonna take it from that 20mm to about 15mm, which is fantastic for more vlog style shots. But there is gonna be a little bit of barrel distortions. On the secondary lens now, you can punch this in 2x, 3x. So now here we are
we're on the second sensor. This is a 1/1.3 inch sensor, which is very similar to what we saw on the Ace Pro 2. But here we have a 60mm f2 equivalent lens. So you're gonna get even more background separation, even more compression. And my favorite thing, this lens focuses super close. So you can kind of get like macro style shots on this sensor. Now, because these are 8K sensors on both the 1 and 3X lens, they're able to give you a lossless 2 and 6X punch in of those sensors to get really high quality images that much further in. So now if I punch this in, we are now at 120mm in a camera that actually fits in your pocket. And then if you really need extra reach, they give you the option to use some digital cropping, and this is gonna take you all the way up to 240mm. The fact that this is able to track me at all at this focal length while operated by no one is absolutely fascinating.
One thing that I have historically really liked about Insta360 products is the innovation that they put into the space. They're always kind of coming up with unique cameras or camera accessories that make filmmaking more interesting. So some cameras are going in the toaster or acting for giant crane shots. That's not exactly what this is. Now, the Luna Ultra does have some features like that, which we'll get into in a second. But really what this camera excels at is image quality. This is far and away the best image quality we've ever seen from Insta360. And it's not even close. Really quickly on the note of image quality, I should say I shot absolutely everything on this camera in iLog and manual exposure. And some of that is good for me and some of it is not so good for me. And here's why. I recently found out that there is an issue currently with this camera's software where auto exposure, specifically when filming an iLog, is gonna give it like a softer, blotchier image than if you shoot in manual exposure. I didn't come across that because I didn't shoot it that way. However, I also found out that the base ISO for iLog seems to be around 800, and I shot pretty much everything at 100 ISO. And after running some tests here, if I were to bump it up to 800 ISO and then put on ND to kind of fix the exposure, there is so much more dynamic range in the highlights especially. And so all of the praise I was giving the camera is actually from before I even found out I can have like an extra 1 to 2 stops of dynamic range in the highlights. So that's very, very cool. Now I'm not trying to say this camera is perfect. There are some gripes that I've had, but most of them have been software related. So I'm looking for things like view assist when filming an iLog, which basically makes the screen contrasty without baking that contrasty image into the footage. I wish changing manual exposure was a little bit faster, but there is a major firmware update coming. We'll see what's included in that when it comes out. I've got my fingers crossed, hoping for the best, because aside from those few small software things, I love this camera. Back to the video. I've showcased a lot of different Insta360 cameras on my channel in the past, and I usually like to talk about them for two different audiences, for the average consumer and then also how these products can work into a more professional filmmaking world. And no camera does this as much as the Luna Ultra. So whether you're looking for a camera to take on vacation and just capture your memories, the built-in gimbal is gonna help you get really stable shots, and the wide zoom range is gonna let you zoom in on all sorts of the details that typical action cameras or 360 cameras aren't. First, let's talk about using this as a regular person, as a consumer, as somebody who just wants something easy to use, but with good quality footage, regular people. I just got back from 2 weeks in Europe with my mom and sister, and this is the only camera I brought with me. And for the first time ever, I didn't think while packing for a trip that, I'm missing out by only bringing this. If only I had my big camera. When I'm on a trip like this, I'm not really looking for like the perfect photos or the perfect videos. I want to be able to walk, quickly grab a shot as I see something, but not have to ask everyone in the group to stop every 5 seconds so that I can take a new picture or video clip. I was kind of excited to use a tool like this that I could quickly pull out of my pocket, and it was great, you know? I don't know what to tell you, just having such a simple tool that's so versatile makes capturing memories way easier.
Looks like I've got my mic connected, I've got the display connected. We're officially getting what I hope is a pretty good and smooth kind of roller shot. was a butterfly to the face. So this is kind of exactly how I want to use a camera like this, especially if I'm doing like an EV review where I can just set it up on a bike, have someone else ride the bike, and I can get all of my composition, my tracking, my zoom, all by myself. In fact, these trees look cool. Let's get a new shot. Yeah, go further up. I'm gonna tilt this track up a bit. And you know what? Maybe I've decided I wanna talk and I want you to hear every word I have to say. This is so bonkers. So while the Luna is still really suitable for beginners, average consumers, you can get great video out of this, even if you don't know how to use a camera or a gimbal at all. But what they've done is they've also pushed in some features that us professionals have been asking them for a long time. And the biggest one here is 10-bit. We have been asking Insta360 to give us 10-bit video for I don't know how long now. And it's finally here. And not only that, they've developed a new log profile called iLog that is part of the ACES workflow, which is like a professional cinematic color grading workflow. And the image is fantastic. The colors look great. It's super easy to work with. It feels surprisingly a lot like my Sony FX3 when it comes to colors. And I just couldn't be happier because now this is my B camera. This isn't like the camera I'm using for the next little while. This is my official B camera for all of my YouTube videos. It's gonna be my top-down angle in the studio. That's the sketchiest setup. Yo, that's so crazy. It's gonna be my roller angle for all of my EV reviews. Oh, we got some bumps. And this is something that I haven't been able to do in the past with other action cameras because either the image quality wasn't quite where I wanted it to be a proper B camera to my Sony, or they didn't have the kind of flexibility that I would want to get different kinds of shots and different focal lengths. The Luna Ultra is everything I want from a B camera. Highly recommend. I think you're gonna love it.
I'm tracking myself. We're heading down to the basement. This is the only window available down here in the basement. I'm gonna leave that, set the camera up down here, just to show you that this is a shockingly bright image that I'm seeing on the display right now for how dark of a basement I'm in. So this is my basement. It's basically just storage, and it is not nearly as bright as it seems on camera. Right now, Zach is filming me on the FX3, and what are you settings? He's at 12,800 ISO at f2, and it's way underexposed. It's dark. So a few years back, Insta360 launched a camera called the Ace Pro, and that's the first camera that showcased their pure video, and that was a genuine game changer. But here on the Luna Ultra, it is 2 to 5 steps better than it was on those cameras. And of course, the 1-inch sensor, the fast aperture are gonna really help with that low light. But a big reason is that this camera can shoot at proper shutter speeds, you know, a 50th of a second, a 30th of a second if you really wanted to, because the camera is physically stabilized. On the Ace Pro, it still needs to use a fast shutter speed so that it has sharp frames in order to stabilize the footage. And fast shutter speeds mean less light. Whether you're a consumer or a pro, you're gonna really appreciate just how much better this camera is in low light than it really has any business being. A final note is that this pure video night mode does work on both the 1 and 3x lens, so you're gonna get the benefits of low light no matter what you're zoomed in on. The Luna Ultra now uses Deep Track 5.0 in order to track subjects, and you can reframe them where you want. This is a super helpful feature both for beginners and for pros and a whole bunch of scenarios. But just so you know, there is an eventual gimbal limit that you won't be able to move past. This is a camera that I could spend a long time talking about because they just got so much right with it. And in particular, I don't think I made nearly a big enough deal in this video. The detachable monitor makes a huge difference. Whether I'm setting the camera up as an overhead camera and I just kind of want to look down and frame up the shot nicely without having to connect, you know, a phone or something like that. Or when I've had the camera mounted on cars and bikes in order to get rollers, you know, obviously you can reference this.
I feel like this whole video is just gonna be me staring at the screen though, because I just I want to know that it's working, but it is working, and it's working even if I come over here.
It's just so useful in so many different scenarios. Now, I would love for them to make like a little housing for this that maybe has an extended battery or, you know, ways to mount it. They probably will, and if they won't, I imagine, you know, a third-party company will in the future. So that's it for now. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'm going to be using this thing so much, so I'm happy to do some tests for you if you have specific questions. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Great camera. Thanks, Insta360.
It's really funny when it keeps tracking me, but your butt cheek is in it.